Alright guys, and welcome back to the Saints View, the channel for something content for our match preview as we turn our attention away from the Premier League and onto cup action. It's the third round of the FA Cup. This is going to be a short video. There's not much to say, to be honest, but it's our third round clash at home with Huddersfield Town. Now it's the third home game in a week. Can we end it off with another win? And also after a busy festive period, will we see a number of key players rested for this one? As for Huddersfield, who knows what sort of team they'll put out. They're struggling in the Championship, 20th at the moment, trying to fight relegation. So we'll have to see where their priorities lie come Saturday. But before we get into the video, guys, do make sure you are subscribed. Follow us on all of our socials. You don't want to miss any content as we're now in the second half of the season. Your support over Christmas has been fantastic. And hopefully we can actually go on a cup run and that will mean more content. But right, let's get into the video. And like I said, there's not really much to say for this one. It's a case of the unknown really in terms of what sort of sides are going to be put out. If you base it off of how Ralph started against Derby in the third round last year, it was a relatively strong lineup. And then obviously we couldn't win it. And the replay was, you know, a weakened side, but we still put on key players like Redmond. He got a brace off the bench, I believe. Was it a brace? I think he did get a brace, didn't he? Or at least he definitely scored. No, he scored one, didn't he? Armstrong scored the other. But regardless, we've worked so hard over this festive period. You know, I will not be surprised to see the likes of Ings, Redmond, Højbjerg, Ward-Prowse, Stevens, Bednarek all put on the bench, Bertrand as well. Because, you know, we've pretty much started the same team in the games over the festive period where they've all come so quickly. And they're bound to be tired. And I think the last thing they want to do at the moment is play in a third round cup game against Huddersfield at home. Of course, this is in the FA Cup. We start our run. Had an okay run in the League Cup this year. Obviously, beat Fulham, had the incredible derby, and then was gifted an away trip to Man City. But if you've been watching the channel since we really started, you'll know that I'm massively up for the cups. I always love a good cup run. You know, even when we were battling relegation and it looked like we were going down, that FA Cup run under Pellegrino and Hughes, it was decent going to the semi-final. That was, you know, really enjoyable. I mean, we were lucky with the draws, but we took our chances. We won those games, and we got to Wembley. A day out at Wembley, you know, I think it's underappreciated by a lot of football fans. You know, seeing your team play at Wembley, it's such a special moment. And yes, we're very far away from that moment. It has to start off with a win against Huddersfield, which on paper shouldn't be too much of an ask, but like I said, it completely depends on what sort of team is put out by both sides. Huddersfield's struggling, but Danny Cowley is now their manager, and he was renowned for having that great FA Cup run back in 2017 with Lincoln when they were in non-league. They got all the way, I want to say the quarterfinals. Amazing run they went on, and you know, will he be tempted to do the same with Huddersfield? I mean, Lincoln were winning the league that year. Huddersfield are trying not to go straight down to League One, so I'm none the wiser. Personally, I'd quite like to see some youngsters be given a chance. I mean, we haven't seen Callum Slattery at all this year. Will Smallbone hasn't made his first team debut yet. I'd like to see him. Our squad depth is also pretty good. You know, there are players who've been here and there involved in the league who will definitely be in for a shout for a start in this one and will be good players to have, you know, Obafemi, Adams, Romeu. So I'd be pretty satisfied if I saw a mix of first teamers who've sort of been on the bench recently and have come on here and there, and then also a couple of youngsters, the likes of Smallbone, Slattery, even Danin Ladulu. He hasn't made his first team debut yet. I'd like to see him given a chance. But because of the unknown regarding the lineup, we're not putting out a predicted lineup video. This game doesn't need much coverage. If we get through, then maybe, yeah, and we get a better known team. You know, Huddersfield have changed a lot, it seems, since they were in the Premier League last 2 seasons. And hopefully the game on Saturday doesn't go like the 2 home games that we played against them in the Premier League. Both 1-1 draws, absolute ball fest. So hopefully it's a convincing win, because we haven't seen a sort of thrashing for a Saints win in quite a while. And that leads me on to my prediction. Who knows? Who knows what sort of game it's going to be. On paper, it seems like a scrappy 1-0 to either side. You know, it doesn't really sound like a classic. But you know, I've been really impressed with us recently. I think the philosophy of the football that we want to play under Hasenhuttl is still going to be present regardless of who's playing. But it's a great opportunity for some of those youngsters. As long as we don't put too many youngsters in, don't make too many changes to an extent that we're at massive risk of actually being knocked out of the competition. Because like I say, I'd love a cup run. But I'm going to go for 3-0 Saints. Why not? I think we're going to keep a clean sheet, score a couple of goals. It's going to be a good afternoon. Haven't really sold many tickets, so we'll see what the atmosphere is like. It could be a very dire afternoon, shall we say. But thank you very much for watching the video, guys. If you have enjoyed it, leave it a like. Let us know your score predictions and what sort of team you'd like to see in the comment section below. And also, do you want to see a cup run? Do you think it's important that we have a good run in the FA Cup this year? As always, make sure you're subscribed, follow us on all of our socials, and we'll see you after the game, I guess. Yeah, hopefully it's a good one in a bit, guys.